We're back. We took last week off to battle the tech gremlins and we survived. Big thanks to a Discord friend Poppet for this awesome black-green build that we're running today. It's ridiculously fun. Let's get into it.
But you were at the play button.
Yes, there we go.
Alrighty.
Had some technical difficulties that we had to work out, but now we're here.
So T and J.
J&T.
J&T.
Yeah,
But I was saying it.
but you put your letter first before mine.
And you put yours before mine. So we're even.
All right, I'll give you that.
We'll go back and forth on it.
You can call it T&J when you're calling it, and I'll just call it J&T when I'm calling it.
I'm just going to call it the team.
That works. All right, so I'm off. I don't have the worst start. I'm not too thrilled about it, but I'm working out kinks on this one, so I'm going to go ahead and run with it. The only thing I'm kind of scared about is that I don't have any black mana in the hand. I'm hoping that I roll into it though, but I got double greens to start with.
True.
I wanted to kind of go back to the mono green landfalls that we would make because I miss playing those. So one of our friends off of Discord, Poppet, helped me with this one, and I went up against Mongo with this deck, and I beat him 2 or 3 times, which I was very stoked about because I had never beat him with one of the decks I had made before.
All right.
And so we got a Mosswood Dread Knight. You pay 1 generic, 1 black, or 1 green, and you get different effects from it. You can either draw a card or you can actually play the card out onto the field. This is the first time I've played this card, if I could get it out there. I know I've drawn cards from it, but I haven't played it onto the field.
All right.
Figured Innkeeper Talent was a good one to start with. That way I can start building up tokens.
It took me a while to remember what lumbering does for you.
So the lumbering, if you remember correctly, it crews. You got to have 4 to crew it.
Right.
Okay, so with this card, it has adventure.
Right.
From what I understand is that when you play this card and it dies, you can play it once and then it's exiled. Correct me on this, or can you elaborate a little bit more? Because like I said, I haven't played a card with adventure, and it was briefly explained to me when I had been up for 24 hours and I don't remember.
Insert explanation here. I already explained it. All right. So it has adventure on it, which means you can either play it as a creature card or play it as a sorcery. If you play it as a sorcery, you exile the card, and it allows you to play from exile this card as a creature card. Then it also has an effect. This effect, when it dies for a very limited amount of time, allows you to replay that adventure card, that adventure ability, by paying the mana cost. But when you do that, you will exile the card completely.
So does it have a counter on it and how many times that you can do that?
No. If you can bring it back from exile, you can use it again.
But it didn't say what the cost was to bring it back from exile.
Actually, it does. On the adventure, it has a mana cost of 1 and black.
Oh, okay.
So if you have a black out on the field, you can play it as the adventure. It gets exiled, and then later you can play it as a creature card. And then its effect goes through.
So what if I don't have the black on the field to begin with? Does that mean that it's blocked to me completely, or once I put a black out there, then it will allow me?
Well, because it's already on the field, you can't play it as an adventure card.
No, I understand that. I'm just saying, like, after it dies, if I don't have a black mana on the field, does that still open up to me?
For the window of time that you're allowed to use the card's ability, if you can put a black mana or get black mana, you can still play that ability.
Okay.
But you would have to combo into it or get lucky and draw the card before your window expires.
Okay, that makes sense.
But you wouldn't have to really worry about that if you had remembered, and I forgot about this too, about Lumbering's ability to bring out another land card, which then you could have chosen black mana to get it out sooner.
Yes, I completely forgot about it this game because I could have brought out Yargle early on.
You could have had both of the Lumberings unless it's a legendary. I don't think it is legendary.
No, I think it's just a vehicle.
Right, and you could have had them both out and swinging or adding to your mana ramp real quick.
Yeah, adding to that mana ramp. If I had Elsworn Giant out and I was able to start making tokens from that, I could have had both of them going.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And I think that's one of the biggest upsides to Elsworn Giant is that it makes the tokens. It doesn't just ramp up with the landfall. But then you pair that with Felidar and you just keep making tokens from that.
Yeah. Yeah. Or add 1/1 counters to everything.
Yeah, that as well. Okay. I think I'm a little screwed right here. These mouse cards actually have some great effects on them. At the beginning of each of their turn, they can choose to have double strike or first strike.
I believe that is after being targeted with a card.
Is it after being targeted? I thought I read it as it was at the beginning of their. Oh, maybe it's the beginning of their second stage.
Maybe.
Or something.
I haven't played around with the mice yet.
No.
Okay.
Oh, you.
Didn't work.
No. Because I forgot I had ward. And I was tapped out.
Yep.
Son of a.
Oops.
Yeah, big oops on my part. Very big oops. I should have paid more attention to that, and I did not. I don't think I was in the best position after they took away the that Mossborn from me.
Nope, but again, if we had played Lumbering a little earlier, your mana troubles would not be present.
No, that is for sure, but even though you have the mana, sometimes not getting the creatures is a dilemma as well, and it can happen.
This is why you need to know your deck and the things in it.
Absolutely.
You will find it is so much easier to play if you know what combos and things work well with each other.
Well, one of the downsides that didn't help me, we took last week off. I needed a small break.
We both did. Yep.
And I completely forgot what those cards did. And coming back into this, I'm sitting there going, okay, I know one of the combos with the Mossborn Hydra. What the hell is the rest of this deck? But I remember that it's a fun deck to play.
Yeah. And had I been sitting next to you when we were playing this and actually paying attention, I probably would have pointed some of these things out. Like, you should do this, you should do that. But
true. But
then again, you got to learn sometime.
Yeah. Hey, I've seen some videos where there's guys that have been playing for a long time and they still make mistakes.
Oh, yeah. I'm not trying to dig at you. I'm just playing around.
No, I know. This is a perfect start.
This
is like a perfect hand that I absolutely need right here. I can play everything in this pile and it will benefit me. As long as it works out that way.
One weakness.
Which is?
Your creature has to survive.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. And if it doesn't, I'm screwed.
Unless you draw another creature.
No. We're already off to a bad start right here.
Yeah, this looks familiar.
Yep. As soon as that came out and that happened, I was already thinking that I'm screwed.
Once is okay.
Yeah, once
you
is
can
okay.
survive once.
Yeah. I sacrificed one land. I've got that one.
You've got more ways to bring out land.
Yeah, and Tumblewagg. Yeah, that one is actually a pretty damn good card. I like that one.
Yep. All right, so what's next? Come on.
So what's next is I need to get that Innkeeper out so that way I can get that Mossborn out. Because if I can get the Innkeeper to level 2, I can put Ward on Mossborn.
Oh, did he just he just bounced it.
How the hell does that work?
It targets a card on their side of the field, bounce it back to their hand, and
Because
then he
of that
just played
pixie?
it. Yeah. And then he just replays the card, which makes him get double use out of that card.
Is that why people don't like fairy decks?
Yes. That is precisely why, because a lot of them have bounce effects or tap target creature, put stun counter on this creature, and a couple of other different flying fuckeries.
Now, I'm curious.
What?
Which do you think gets more hate? Mono greens or fairies? Because it does not seem like people like mono green by any means.
Fairies are more picky. You have to have the right cards out in a right order.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas mono green have more of a synergy between cards.
Okay.
But it all depends on the person creating the deck and how they play it.
But would you say it's a fair statement that nothing beats the hate that blue gets?
I have not been in the mainstream social aspect of it, so I wouldn't know.
So the only reason I bring this up is because it just seems like when it comes to
Holy crap.
yeah, I'm screwed. I am completely screwed this game.
Yeah, because you don't have any other
Nope.
creatures, and
I'm gonna go ahead and concede this one because I'm not dealing with it.
Yeah, this is kind of like where I'm like, where's my snare?
Well, and the
You
shitty
can't touch it.
is I have creature removals in this deck, but it's not giving it to me.
Tough break.
Yeah, but I'm gonna keep going with what I got.
But anyways, talking about the hate,
Yeah, because it
we need more friends to talk about this because, again, I haven't been in a social situation playing Magic the Gathering with a bunch of people in a long while, which will probably change after our vacation coming up.
yes, we are actually going to be going to Vegas in June for the
MagicCon.
for the MagicCon that's going to be there. The what the hell is it?
Las Vegas MagicCon.
Well, I know it's called the MagicCon, but what the hell is the tournament? It's like the championship one.
Yeah.
Are we going to be just observing that?
No. I am actually entered into one of the tournaments so I can get me some the Final Fantasy packs that are coming out.
I am definitely looking forward to the Final Fantasy stuff.
Yes. I'm hoping I go in, I play a couple rounds, maybe win or one or two. That's all I'm hoping for. But in the long run, I'm hoping to get Cloud and
I was just
some of the
about to
other
say.
those cards, the iconic cards that I like.
Yes. You know what would be really cool if they did it? I got no idea. I haven't tried looking at a deck list or anything for it.
Mm-hmm.
Cloud Sword as an artifact weapon that you can equip to a creature.
I think that would be cool, but have
Oh, this is a toxic deck. Fuck no.
have his Buster Blade and his Fusion Sword.
Buster Blade. I thought it was called Buster Blade, but I couldn't remember.
Well,
Like, I'm not the biggest Final Fantasy player there is, but I definitely appreciate the game. I appreciate the artwork. I have a certain love for the game because I played it when it came out on the original PlayStation, and I followed up with it a little bit. But I started getting into other games, and I stopped playing it after a couple of them. But I've always watched the different things about it on YouTube and stuff like that, but I've never really got back into playing it.
Well, I played the Final Fantasy series 1 through 6. Did not play 7. Did not get into 8. Spent a few years playing other games, of course, and then came back into it really. Final Fantasy 12, 13, and 14.
Okay.
And then they had a couple more.
Bristly Bill, I can do some work with this one.
Ooh. Bristol had a didn't play games for a while. I was in the military, had other things going on, and then came back. And I've been trying to play through the remaster for Final Fantasy 7.
That's right. That came out a couple years back.
Part 1 and then part 2 most recently, and they're still working on part 3.
I didn't even know there was a part 3.
Yep. Not to spoil it or anything, it follows a very similar timeline as to the original, but they did make some differences to spice it up.
Okay. That, that makes sense. It's kind of like what they did with the Oblivion remake recently. What is it? I think it's Oblivion 3.
Elder Scrolls Oblivion. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
That would be 4, I think. Morrowind is 3.
Oh, okay.
I think.
No, I could be wrong on it. I never played the game. I'll be honest with that. But they came out with the remake recently, and people have been all over the fucking thing just because it was a fan favorite. But they, as far as I know, they made a couple of changes, at least to the gameplay. I don't know. But
haven't seen it yet.
It's been something that a lot of people have fucking fallen in love with.
All right. So you got your Tumblewagg out. You got Bristly Bill.
My goal here is to use that Tumblewagg to keep building up Bristly Bill.
Okay.
Or use it on the Tumblewagg. Either way, I can't go wrong with it. As long as it stays on the field. They've already tried to remove Bill once. They didn't have enough to pay for the ward.
They made a mistake. And now they pay for it.
Yeah, I was going to say they didn't make the mistake there. But I got the Tumblewagg, which still allows me to
build up.
Yes, thank you. For whatever reason, those words were not coming to mind. Okay.
But yeah, I'm going to be in one of the tournaments to use sealed packs and build a deck, play in the tournament trying to win. If I win, I get to come back the next day and play again. And with that, if I continue, that's basically the start of my Magic the Gathering.
Is this going to be considered a sealed draft, or is it just standard play?
Everything's sealed. I don't have to bring anything in. All of the cards that are going to go into the deck are going to be provided for me. And I'm basically playing blind. I don't know what I'm going to get. Don't know what's going to show up.
Now,
and
do you have to build your deck then and there, and you can't make alterations to it after it's been submitted?
As far as I'm aware, you have about an hour to build the deck. You can have a sideboard and then switch out your cards in between individual rounds.
Now, can you go up to other players and be like, hey, I got this card. I'm willing to trade it for something that you have in your hand because I need it?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, you got to build with what you got.
Okay.
And that's the challenge with it, is finding the combinations, playing the game, and getting lucky or being very smart. I am probably going to stick to my guns and play whatever color I get most of.
Makes sense.
Maybe I'll splash in one or two other colors depending on the lands I get or different card combinations, but I'm walking into this tournament completely blind.
Which should put everyone on the same playing field.
Maybe, maybe not, because some people may have the card lists and their effects and stuff and
They've
build
already-
a deck in their head. I'm not doing that because I want to be surprised. I want to learn on the spot kind of thing and gain some experience that way
Okay.
and see how I do. Just because that's how I build most of my decks is I find an idea and I'm like, I like that. I want that. Let's build a deck around that particular idea. And that's where I'm at now in this career path that I may be starting.
Especially if it's something that you can get into and be able to travel with.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
If I could win this tournament, that would be...
Or at least place high enough to be able to walk away with a little bit of money in pocket.
I would be happy if all I did was win cards or boxes of cards just to start out, just for the experience.
That brings up a good point. What do you do with the deck when we're done?
Oh, it becomes mine.
Oh, you don't have to give it up or anything?
Nope, it's sealed.
Nice.
You get the cards that you draw, and if you place high enough, you get to actually keep, or you are awarded other rewards like cards, boxes full of cards,
Limited edition ones
Limited
or like
edition.
pre-releases or things of that nature.
Yep. Hell, just by walking in, we get cards from buying the badges because of the level of badge or level of the badge that I got.
I'm going to be honest, I still need to get mine.
Man, you better
What?
get on it before
Who
it
said
gets.
that? What are you talking about?
You better get on that before it's sold out.
I know. I slacked on it. I was supposed to get it done last week and I didn't.
Yeah, and I told you.
I won.
I told you. I'd buy it for you.
I know. No, I definitely need to get on that. But I'm pretty sure I'm going to be spending more time at the slot machines when we're not at the tournament.
Right.
So, hey, if both of us can walk away with money in pocket, that'd be awesome.
That would be awesome. I just am really curious on how I'm going to place in this. Even if I get knocked out first round, I still walk away a winner because I get the cards that I get.
If you have a copy of Cloud, I'm taking it.
You should have joined me for the tournament then.
Wait. Oh, no, I'm not going to be getting the same one that you're going to be getting. That's right.
You'll be getting the same amount of packs or however they're doing it, which means you have the equal chance. But if I have more than one, one of them is going into a plastic card sleeve permanently.
I don't blame you. Just send it to CGC. They'll make it an automatic 10 for you.
Oh, that would be nice. Cloud, Sephiroth, and
No, wait. Okay, if you haven't looked it up, look up Alpha Investments and watch his shorts for Premier card grading.
why are you giving them a shout out?
Because this dude is awesome as hell, and he's got one of the biggest collections of Magic, Pokemon, you f***ing name it.
Too bad we're not affiliated with them. Maybe you should go talk to them, see if we can get sponsored.
Dude, I would love to join his Discord and be able to just speak with him.
Well, send them a message, see if you can.
Yeah, that'd be fucking awesome.
Bristly Bill.
Yes. So the last game that fucking name is that of that card?
Llanowar?
No, it was an armadillo looking one. Can't remember the name of it now. That one helped me so much.
Tumblewagg.
Yes, Tumblewagg. Thank you. That one helped me win. Well, yeah, it pretty much locked in that game for me because I was able to keep building tokens off of it with Innkeeper. And Bill does great with that, especially if you get enough mana out on the field where you can burn it and use his ability. But even with just the landfall, being able to build up Bill can get you very far.
You know, I got a question for you.
Okay.
You ever think about making a green-white Bristly Bill deck with Ultec and Dollmaker?
Honestly, I've never thought about it. I've only
And then you use Lumbering World Dragon to bring out more mana and Overlord.
No, I've never thought about that, because when it comes to Bristly Bill, I've never looked at it as an effective card, because you can only have one of it out on the field because it's legendary.
Which is the reason why I bring up the combo, because it removes legendary status from the card.
Which makes sense.
Multiple happen at the same time.
I kind of saw the way you were going with that when you're asking it, and it's a good idea, and I'm not opposed to trying that at all.
But it's also not limited just to Bristly Bill. You could use it on Lumbering. You could use it on, well, you can't really use it on Hydra because it comes out as a 0/0. But if you do it on something that when this card comes out effect, X happens, then you could do it and still have the creature live.
That makes sense. I need to grab a couple of black cards because I don't have any out on the field. No, I would definitely be up to try it, see how it goes, because it could be a lot of fun, or it could be something that we're spending a lot more time on to try and work it out. And I just don't want us to feel like we have to force it to make it work, because if we have to force the deck to make it work, it's just no fun.
Well, it's just one of those combos that'll just sit there in the deck and you're like, ooh, I got it. And while you're focused on pushing something else out, like your Hydra.
Ooh, yes. Okay, I like this. I like this right here.
Right.
So I get the effect of doing that. I get the effect of tap sacking it, bring out another land, and you see what's there in the deck? The World Wagon.
Yeah, I see that's in your hand.
So with the World Wagon,
I
can go and look for another land. But
too bad you
do I do it now or do I wait?
Too bad you don't have your Hydra in hand.
I know, but that's the nice thing about a landfall deck, is if you get the right cards in hand, they can still pop off and do a lot of damage.
So I had a thought.
Okay. Kind of scary, but I'm going to entertain this.
I wonder if there is a way to duplicate land cards like I have been doing with creature, enchantment, and permanents that stay out on the field.
Shit, there was a card recently that I saw that had to do with land. I'll have to look into it because I can't remember if you were able to like duplicate your land cards or something to that effect.
Because it would be really interesting if I could create a landfall deck that just duplicated land cards.
Oh, that would be freaking awesome.
Even if they showed up on the battlefield tapped, there are cards that untap them. And you could theoretically chain landfall several times a turn.
I think it would be really interesting if you can bounce land cards back to your hand and be able to just keep playing them again.
Actually, you can do. I believe you can do that. If you can find a card that says
yes,
return,
I got him to concede.
If you can find a card that says return permanent card to your hand, you could do that over and over again.
Interesting. I'll have to see if that's available on here, or if it's just available in a physical.
Yeah, it just has to say permanent. If it says non-land permanent or
whatever it would be,
then it won't work because it doesn't target land.
Interesting. If you haven't yet, hit the subscribe button, give us a like, leave us a comment, join us over on Discord.
I want more deck ideas, please.